Okay. Whenever you're ready. Right, lads. Welcome to Truagh Park, St. Mellons, the home of football, they'll tell you down here, with the down colours. It's great to be here. Started off for me in 89, and I hope it's not to finish it. 2099. Latton are playing much the same team that played against Scottstown last week. We're starting with number 1, Shane Black. Number 2, Conor Lynch. Number 3, Kieran Duffy, county player. Number 18 is Tommy McPhillips. Number 19 is Owen the Dodger Duffy, so that you don't get confused with the other Owen Duffy. Number 6 is Owen Kyle, and number 7 is Thomas Lynch. Number 8 is Stephen McElroy, and number 19 is Shane Slevin. Numbers 10 is Stephen McCabe. Number 11 is Aaron Mulligan. Number 12 is Christopher Rice, who'll probably be switching with Shane Slevin in midfield. Number 25 is Kiwi McElroy, brought in for his free-taking expertise and did very well last week when he came in. Number 14 is Thomas Connolly, and number 15 is Owen Duffy, who's captain, former county player. And I'll hand you over to Paddy now and he'll give you the true team.
Okay, a big welcome back to Frank here to Park Ní Mhailinn and give Truagh. Frank, a veteran manager here of many years ago. It's a very long time ago, Frank. Just to go through the whole Truagh team here, that we have a very similar lineup planned to what played Scottstown in the first round of this championship. In goals is Cialan McGee. Full back line, wearing number 2 is Owen Kelly, number 3 is Niall McQuillan, and 4 is Cian Maguire coming in for his second championship match. Number 5 and number 6 are the McKenna brothers, James and Cormac respectively, and they're joined in the half-back line by Aaron Moan. Then we go to the middle of the field, where we have number 8 is Pádraig Trinner, and number 9 Niall Rooney, scorer of those impressive 4 second half points against the Scottstown team in the first outing. Then the half forward line is wearing number 10 is John McCarn, 11 is Christopher McEnany, and 12 is Ryan Moan. And finally then we go to the full forward line. Familiar Christopher McKenna joins us there, Adam Trainer, and Gary Moan is out with an injury, and Colin McGrory is the man who takes up the position at top of the left. So that is the team here on a very balmy afternoon here at Truagh. And Frank, Latton, 2 outings so far. Just give us an idea of their progress to date and what your take is on today's game.
My take on today's game is whoever wins this game today, he'll be qualified for the quarterfinals, and whoever loses this today will probably be in relegation playoff. Both teams, I think, have to play Carrick, with Truagh having to play Blaney. Blaney are poor at the minute. They're in a rebuilding process, so we're not here to run them down. But they would be one of the teams that will be favourites for relegation. And I would imagine the losers of these two, because Carrick, if you're going up there to play Carrick at home, they haven't been beaten in 3 years, so it's going to be a hard task for whoever's going up there. I think it's Truagh that will be going up there, so this is the game that matters to these two teams here. It's so funny looking at the Truagh team. I'm going to ask you, Paddy, what's their nicknames, because I was downtown in Truagh and I realised when we were naming the first team after being here maybe 6 to 8 weeks that Niall Fairbig wasn't Fairbig. He was either a McKenna or a Trainer, or Paddy Peter wasn't Paddy Peter. He was either a McKenna or a Trainer, and I still know their nicknames.
Now, Frank, you'd want a fairly big checkbook for the courtroom to start getting throwing out nicknames on air. It's a sort of a code name that we keep here among ourselves, just to
we keep it among ourselves, Paddy.
Confuse the rest of you, and that's where we are with those.
Going back to the Latton team, is a very young team. You have 4 young lads there, 19. You have Tommy McPhillips, Shane Slevin, Owen the Dodger Duffy. They're young lads. Latton are starting to build. You see Kiwi McElroy is back in. He's back in for the freeze. And then you have some of the middle-aged boys, with the 28 boys, Christopher Rice, Stephen McElroy, Thomas Connolly, and then Owen Duffy and Kieran Duffy. They're only about 27, 28. So it's a building process for Latton. Paddy, what is it for? Is this a building process for Truagh, or is this
I think
a
what you
mature
have
team?
with Truagh, you have a couple of waves of teams that come through the minor ranks, and they're very much represented at the youth end of stage. And in particular, Cian Maguire is probably going to be the youngest player on the field today, just a Leaving Cert student who came in from last year's under-17 team, and he is starting at cornerback. Then you have Aaron Moan and Ryan Moan, and the players who have been in the minor panels at county level and under-21 this year in more recent times. But of course then we have some really veteran players, Colin McCrory being the most notable one coming in today, and Colin has had many championship journeys here with us in Truagh. We're fortunate, maybe the way things turned out, that we have a couple of lads in the middle of the field that otherwise may not have been available to the team. They were abroad in more recent months, Pádraig and Niall, and great to have that strength back at the centre of the field. So that's it. I was going to ask you, Frank, what's your best memories of being here now? It's a long time since you were about here as a manager. What are the standout memories from your period here with Truagh?
Well, one was I was only married a short time and I lost my wedding ring and spent a couple of hours out in that field looking for it, and we was just going home.
I thought you were going to say you lost the wife, but go on.
No, I didn't lose the wife, Paddy. She wishes sometimes she has, and I found the wedding ring. I still have it, and the gate. And another inviting memory was my father died, and he died in the June bank holiday weekend, and I remember looking up and feeling down in the dumps. We all feel that way when our parents died, and the door opened and the Truagh football team came in, and I remember Gerard McQuaid was first man in, and it was great, and it was a great moral lift that my father had a busload of people from Monaghan to come to his funeral. And then we lost Francie Began and Brendan Landers. They had met somebody called Niall Timothy who used to teach up here, and there were 17 pubs in Glenamaddy, and when it was time to go home the two boys couldn't be found. So that's one of my memories. Another memory was we had a very good team, and we went the first 9 matches unbeaten, and then Paddy Peter broke his leg, and that kind of wheels came off it there. So we got the 2 semi-finals of Hackett Cups. We didn't do as well as Killarney beat us one year in the championship. We underperformed, but that was a very good team. You had Stephen Moan, you had Paddy, you had 2 McKiernans, you had Brendan Fairbig was starting to come through, you had Dickie in goals, and it was a very good time, and I enjoyed it down here. And it was the facilities, the same pitch. We used to train down at the back where the new pitch is at the back, and over there looking over across from us, that wasn't there. But it was a very friendly club and a very welcoming club, and I must say I have nothing but good memories from here.
Very good. In terms of today's game, the weather it's warm, and certainly the water breaks will be welcome on a day like today. Players are not used to that in the last number of weeks. It's the first time they've been out in that sort of an intense heat. How do you think that's going to affect either of the teams? Will it affect the quality of the game we're going to see?
I think the quality of the game should be brilliant, because it affected definitely the quality of the game last week in Latton, where it was pouring rain for the first half. I got absolutely soaked because we were outside that day, and it was quality football. First touch was terrible, everything was terrible, and Latton did not get up to the standard it required. They need to improve by at least 40 to 50% today to stand a chance. And there is the vengeance factor too with Truagh. Truagh feel they shouldn't have been put out of the championship last year by Latton. They underperformed, so if there's anything in them this year, I'm told that's what happened in us, Paddy. Anything was in them this year that they should be able to perform. I think Truagh will be favourites going into this game.
Okay, Frank, I think we'll be with the fans that are joining us online shortly, but for now we're going to hand over. Mickey Traynor is taking the microphone here, chairman of the Gael Truagh, and I think then we'd be preparing for the national anthem.
Well, I'd like to welcome you all here to this man's party here today. This memorable victory with Latton. I think it's the first ever seen the championship match we played at home here in the manager of the Flowers and the results. I'd like to also welcome all of you wherever you are in the world watching the fantastic game of football here in the hand over now to our president and sing the evening tenor from the national anthem. We all now stand up to the national anthem sung by multi-president and the evening tenor.
He has been a fall at Toffree Gallagherin, Queen the Slew, our chamber running green, free watch Besser, Shanshir, Russian, Sherfasta, we offer when cheer on off when troll and of the hills Savarna will leg and will come for snow sail leg on his grave we love now the land shall it canny run and win.
Culture more over Lincolnshire or Parkley Muan, Gael Truagh. For anybody who's joining us that's unfamiliar with the area, you're joining us here in the shady woods of Truagh, nestled between Emmy Vale and Monaghan and Auckland and Tyrone. Delighted to have viewers from far and near, Latton and Truagh people. Big shout outs maybe during the match, and join me Frank Brady here to the various supporters who couldn't be here. And particularly if you're watching Hugh Traynor, Hugh has been on sabbatical for a couple of weeks, but we're looking forward to you coming back down here for the later parts of the championship. And delighted, Hugh, if you're available to see the match here. And as I say, we're all looking forward to you coming back down here to St Mellons. There's people joining us from as far away as Australia, from New York, and even as far away as from Drumfurra and Cavan Moutry. So you're going to get people from all parts. Frank, I don't know if you have any Latton people that straight away that are joining us here this evening that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of, but I know there's lots of people around the world from Latton looking forward to this game, because Truagh and Latton has always been very close games, and in my time with Truagh, our hardest games were with Latton, which was the start of the Latton dynasty at that stage. And I remember the first year we played them over in Scotstown, and it was a dinger of a game, and Kevin Hughes taught us a few lessons that night, but we learned.
Okay, so both teams lining out pretty much as myself and Frank announced earlier on here. Frank pointed out rightfully that this is probably the highest stakes game for both teams in the qualifying the group stage of the championship. Huge panels, I suppose, with the COVID and everything else, people around home, players available to their clubs more so than ever, maybe fewer injuries given the lack of games. So it's really striking just how big the panels are for both clubs, bigger than normal, and we're more or less ready here for the throw-in.
Yeah, and I just say, I see it's great to see Dara Dempsey's back. He missed him last week with the sad passing of his aunt Breda, and would like to still pay our respects to Pauline if she's watching this, and we're still thinking of you, Pauline.
Yeah, big shout out to all of the Dempsey family with a really tough time in recent weeks.
Recent years too. So good to start here. Anthony Martin is in the game. It's a Carduff referee again. So we'll see how that one goes. Christopher Rice has gone into midfield.
Yeah, I see Christopher's joining in the middle of the field there. He's in with Porrick Traynor. He'll be joining his clubmate Stephen McElroy. The ball's thrown in, up to go high. Rooney goes up, gets a punch to the ball, it breaks loose. And the foul on that occasion was down on Shane Slevin and free to that. Ball into the corner. That was the forward purpose here, through struggling to keep up. Pushed right back out again, Steve McCabe. McCabe looks across.
And Dodger Duffy.
Dodger Duffy, what a name. He certainly dodged that tackle very well. Old Kyle in charge here now. Back out in the possession of Christopher Rice. Rice and long ball in. As Hugh McElroy, the familiar shape of Hugh, going off and catch the ball, drawing the foul from Jono, and first blood to Latton here, I think, Frank, maybe.
Yeah, it will be. This is why Kiwi brought on. He got that ball. He could actually have got the famous mark. That's the one thing I've seen in my first match. Maybe you saw the same in Paddy. Your first match. Was there many marks? Because there was very few marks last week.
Yeah.
In thing, the conditions didn't suit it, and then we mentioned that, and all of a sudden Conor McCarthy got one and put her over the bar. So this will be a big one. Latton missed these frees last week, so Kiwi is in for the free taking. 41 years of age. He's a credit to the club to be back.
Here's Hugh McElroy, servant of Latton and of Monaghan, veteran free taker, hits with his right, which from a nice position. He puts the ball over the bar. First blood to Latton here at St Mellons Bar. 3 minutes gone.
Yeah, it's a quick kick out, and Truagh are building from the back, Paddy.
Yeah, up here it's Kate, I think, with the ball, gets it across to Rooney.
We had him in the county minors, an excellent footballer, always had plenty of talent.
Long ball goes in. Colin McCrory wins an early ball there, creates the opportunity. And scores. Christopher McElroy was instead of Colin McCrory, and things are level all of a sudden. And quick reply from Truagh, but Colin McCrory very clever work there to set up.
He took a lovely point. He was 35 yards out, and he just stroked it over the bar as if it was just 10 yards out. Very well taken score.
Shane Black sends the ball high into the middle of the ball. Have it. John McCarran comes down with it. John sends it across. Across this to Ryan Moan. Niall Rooney rather. Go again, it's McAnally again.
Wide this
That one's for the Priest Med, I think.
There's a little bit of handcuffs there between Owen Duffy and Truagh, and they're both looking over at the umpire. The linesman is now looking for Anthony Martin to maybe talk to the two of them.
Yeah.
Number 5,
Anthony just not
James
doing
McKenna.
the job just yet, I think.
And Duffy on the ball again. This fella has plenty of pace. It will be centre half back in the minor team.
Latton brings ball forward. Hugh McElroy again. He's shown himself to be really much a target man from Latton by his weight now. Out it comes. This time to Aaron Mulligan. Mulligan's first taste of play. Across to Slevin. Forward again. They coughed up that ball nicely. The ball played forward again. McCrory it is who's the marksman. And McCrory takes the shot. And the ball is to the right and wide.
I
To the
thought that was
right.
over. From here it looked over.
I think quite a bit of the crowd here thought the same.
But it was. Quick kick out again. Both teams are building from the back. Steve McKay.
Again, pattern of play starting to emerge through playing that down the line across the half back line. Snevin goes forward. He plays the ball through. That's a
First
miss
wide
kick.
for Latton.
It's a wide for Latton.
Very poor goal.
One thing we'd be looking for from True Frank, I suppose, is the fact that against Scotstown we did cough up a lot of the Scotstown ball coming through in around about the 45-metre line there. We just one instance of it there today, and it'll be interesting to see if True can continue to capitalise on that tactic going forward.
Against Scotstown for 50 minutes, you were probably the better team in the last 10 minutes.
Owen Kelly it is now. Owen looking around, trying to pick out his man. The ball through. James McKenna's there. James was he being held? Yes, James has been held. And James did very well to get in front for that ball there, and he will set up an opportunity. One imagines it's probably Adam Trainer maybe who's going to come out to take this one here.
It should be handy enough free. It's still straight in front of the goals. It's a tip over. Yeah, Yankee puts it over handy enough. He won a minor with it in Tuckney and has always been full of football. It's good to see him back. He took a sabbatical last year. He's involved with the ladies, but as a footballer, I don't know if you saw the video going back this week of Daniel Yankee and his training camps in New York. It's good to see Daniel again.
Daniel, if you ever get a chance to look at this one here, we would just love to take it back here. He's doing the business here. He sends the ball over the bar and he sends it through into a slim lead here. Points from one.
No breeze.
Here. Reed is breaking the ball down. There's very well on that ball there. Sends the ball across to the left that full back line and Conor Lynch is there. Lynch running through it's right across here to Owen Duffy. Owen sends it across back to McCabe. McCabe looks inside, wondering what options are available to him. It's quite congested there. He looks for Mulligan. Mulligan with the first attempt of the game. It's certainly high, and it's to the left and right.
Yes, Latton last week, Paddy, in midfield, they were well structured. Frank Caulfield had probably the dominant, and Darren had probably all the possession. So True are doing much the same here again today. So it's a big area for Latton, and they'll have to just improve there. I see Owen Duffy's out around there a lot of it. They're trying to get him more involved than he has been for a few games.
That's kind of sets the ball forward. Corey again wins the ball here. That's the third in a row he has won. He looks back to Cormac. Cormac takes the shot. Maybe not the best option there. And it falls right back to Shane Black.
And Thomas Lynch is coming out of it now.
Lynch.
There's Christopher Rice.
There's 2 fingers on that ball as it breaks. And Conley is pulled onto that there. Etc. Ultimately, it's True who's going to have this opportunity to set up another attack. Niall Rooney in possession, kicks the ball across to his midfield partner, Cormac Trainer. This is John McCarn. Crossfield Hardmone's next. On speed. Does so, looking for the return here. Moan moving forward with speed.
Yeah. One of those days. Some days you got the penny, some days you don't. And he went down, and the referee judged that he had been brought down.
I think probably in his early minutes of the game, referee maybe been a wee tad generous, marking the territory that he's not going to tolerate very much by way of physicality in the game.
Which is a pity in a way. We should let it try and develop and improve. But he's down injured. And just going back to it, Gary Mohan is a big loss. You remember watching in the McKinnon Cup early on this year. Gary was probably one of the better Monaghan players in the age.
Yeah, if there was ever a game, I suppose, that we wanted one of our better players available to you, Gary Mohan would be the man to have here today. Unfortunately, Gary just has a niggling little injury prior to training after the Scotstown match. He was out and about here this morning, helping out with the under-11s and presenting medals, etc. So I think it's not going to be too long before we'll see Gary back in the colours.
Yeah, but the season is so short and so compact now. If you get any little niggle at all, you miss 2 or 3 games. Any other time you had 2 or 3 weeks in which to get better. That's the beauty of it. You have football every week, but then it's over very quickly.
Free this time would be taken by Christopher McKenna. The lads call him Snoozy. Well, you can snooze all morning tomorrow morning as long as this goes over the bar as far as the true supporters are concerned. Christopher takes the shot.
Well taken for
trademark accuracy from Christopher over the bar and just edging through a second point ahead at this early point.
I love to see frees off the ground. I think they should be nearly worth 2 points because it's an art that's gone out of the game.
Certainly an art. And through comes through the breaking ball, but I have to say Christopher Rice has been very busy in the middle of the field, picking up a lot of loose ball.
Yeah. But Steve McElroy picked up a dead leg last week. I wonder is that going to hold him back a small bit?
Time will tell. The sort of sweeping duties here of John McCarn gets the ball across to Owen Kelly. The vision there was for Niall Rooney. Niall gets the ball under control and is now moving forward. He has support of Cian Maguire if he needs it, but not at the end of that. This stage it's back to Rooney. 2 Latton players in pursuit.
One of them is Tommy Lynch, who would be Niall Rooney's, and him would be very good friends. They were in the Sen together for 5 or 6 years.
Well, they'll just have to park that for the next hour.
Beautiful
or so.
ball. I felt this pass.
Yes, and that's
fabulous pass from Adam Yankee. I think gave it in. I don't know who got it.
I think it was James McKenna there that came forward and scored that one there. Or was it Cormac?
It was a beautiful pass from Adam Yankee. That's 4 points to 1. You've got the last 4. Latton haven't scored for.
Yeah, James also producing the good against Scotland, coming from the half-back line and put the ball over the bar. 4 points to 1 here for Gael Truagh. Certainly settled into the game better. Referee Anthony Marin having a.
Latton haven't scored in 10 minutes.
McCabe sends the ball back across field. Slevin.
Christopher Rice again.
Rice, the busiest maybe of the Latton players in the early part of the game. Owen Coyle, strong physical presence, back into McElroy. McElroy trying to turn the youngest and most senior members of the 2 teams up against each other there. It was Cian Maguire who was dispossessing Hugh McElroy, and ultimately
Anthony Marin gives a free out. It could have been a kick out, it could have been wide, but he gave the free out.
Cleans things up a bit.
Truagh are the better team at the minute. They're building much better from the back than Latton are, and they've been very forceful in their any attack that have gone. It has been an active pass for a score. Latton have been wasteful with their 2 or 3 passes. They've taken the easy option.
It's Christopher McKenna looking comfortable in possession, looking ahead now to see what's available to him. Sort of charging there. I think
he charged. He put the elbow up as well, so it was one of those days you are going to get it.
McCabe, the ball sent back in. He's going to have a tussle on his hands for this ball here. The hot pursuit of Niall Rooney. McCabe does very well. He creates the space here, gets it back out to McElroy.
To Owen Duffy.
Owen Duffy now. Owen
pops it up again.
Won it, lost it.
He's line ball, handball on the ground is what the referee is saying.
Yeah, so. I think maybe that.
This was one for Aaron Mulligan.
Owen Kelly may be a wee bit disappointed there with that.
He would be.
I think, if anything, I thought he was over his tummy.
But he did. It'd be interesting to see. This is the first time we've actually really mentioned him maybe once in 12 minutes, Aaron Mulligan. So he needs a score or 2 to get himself into the game. He came into it very late against Scotstown. He has been out for a while with a shoulder injury, and he's seen as the future of Latin football, definitely, and possibly Monaghan football.
Certainly, Ulster Championship Minor, All Ireland colleges, and now the second point for Latton against Truagh here at St Mellons Park.
He needed that just to get himself back into it, because he's such a beautiful talent. It's good to see him score that one, and it was well taken free. It was equally as good as the one that Truagh got.
Yeah, Lawrence Drain and management team would certainly be aware of the threat that Mulligan poses here in this game. Christopher McKenna goes up with one hand, brings the ball down into the other, loses it and is back on the ground.
Yeah. I thought he could have been fouled that time.
Rooney's in possession. Rooney sent the ball in, and an off the ball incident there. It seems to have involved Christopher McAnally, and the referee is calling a halt to play.
Could be a black card here, you know. The first one we've seen in a while. Yes, he's protesting. So
Christopher does a good graphic as to exactly what he thinks happened here, but
Anthony Marrin thinks differently.
Anthony Marrin will be interested here.
Yeah.
It's a long chat they're having there, and
it's a yellow.
It's a yellow card,
which makes it hard now. He's walking on an eggshell for the rest of the game. It's early days. We're only 15 minutes gone.
So 4 points to 2 for those watching at home as Lynch comes forward again. Latton coming right back into the game here. Adam Trainer, second time certainly he was guilty. Owen Kyle is looking for his talisman. Sends it back to Owen Duffy to do the same, and instead it's a build-up out to come with Thomas Lynch.
Thomas has been a lot of ball, and there's Christopher Rice again. He coughs it up again though. Aaron Mulligan, that's the first time he's been involved. Stephen
McCabe.
Stephen McElroy.
Big Vicky McElroy, and again the cough up was by Truagh. Great work there, really work for the team by Christopher McKenna. McAnally, the yellow card man, sends the ball forward. He looks for his neighbour, Colin McCrory. McCrory keeps the ball in, does so nicely, and it's James McKenna now. James toe to hand, he has a point. As the ball, he gets it back to his McCrory. McCrory is up, he's down, he's up again. But he holds on to possession here.
Yeah.
And
free end, he says he pushed him in the back. I think he's maybe compensating for one, and 13 seconds earlier that he could have given McCrory. So
I think Armone he certainly was challenged from a balance perspective as he was about to take this. This will be an awkward angle here now. It's a fair distance out along the line for Adam Trainer. It'd be a mighty point if he was able to convert that.
It is. It's actually a sideline, you could say, from the one. It's right on the sideline, and it's about 30 yards out. But he's taking it off the ground, so there's no wind to swing it in, so he just has to do it all.
Adam Trainer with a kick, and as predicted by someone on the left post was the villain in the scene here at St Mellons Park. A big shout out, if you're watching here, I believe you are, to Carlo Daly, big Latin man up in Dublin, and was tweeting and twittering during the week to say that he's an interest in keeping an eye on the match here at St Mellons Park. He was stressing just how important it is for both teams. Yeah,
this is a preliminary relegation. Unfortunately, maybe Carrick. Both teams could beat Carrick yet, and that'll put them all in the quarterfinals. But so we'll see.
That trading off the high ball that goes into the centre. McElroy, it was a came for that one there. But again, a lot of messy ball. The loose ball man, Aaron Moan going forward. This is the second major attack by Aaron. Christopher, he didn't even look. He took the shot and kicked the ball over the bar.
That's two.
Christopher McKenna, 2 points for him.
2 beautiful points for him. He's done very well today. They have to put somebody on him. Who's on him at the minute? I think they'll make a few changes now. I see the Mare foreigners going in. A water break.
Well,
yes, we could do it all ourselves. Yes,
you'd have weeded up yourself there, Frank, wouldn't you?
I would. I'll go down and one that will give it to me. Paddy, it has been a reasonably good game. It's an exciting game. 5 points to 2. Thanks very much. It's 5 points to 2. Latton would feel that they have a lot more to do. Truagh have been by far the better team in the first 15 minutes, 16 minutes. It has been free-flowing, but we haven't seen the intensity of championship yet, be it because maybe we're missing the crowd, or maybe it's a home advantage and it looks like more a league match than a championship match. Would that be fair to say?
I'd say both sets of players are quite nervous going into this match here, because it's a game that they know how high the stakes are. Possibly Latton are very much set themselves up for a high ball down into the middle of the field there. There has been a lot of loose ball, a lot of ball on the ground, and maybe Truth's slight advantage is coming from just being that bit quicker to get down on the loose ball, to win a bit of dirty ball, and then to convert it into attack. And you probably didn't see the same threat coming then from the Latton attack. One player that probably has been very busy in this game from a true perspective is Colin McCrory. He has been that man that's been sort of the centre of most of the moves, and has so far won nearly every ball that has come his way.
Oh, he has won every ball, and Christopher McKenna has done very well. He's got 2 beautiful points. He just strokes the ball over the bar. It has been very good. Latton have been labouring in all the scores that they've tried to get. It has been, whereas Truagh have got 5 scores, 3 of them have been very easy scores. Latton's 2 scores that have been hard to work and hard to get. Kiwi McElroy has started very well. He's gone a little bit out of it now, but he'll come back into it again, I have no doubt. But we have to start seeing more from the likes of Thomas Duffy, Thomas Connolly, Stephen, Christopher Rice has been done. But the one thing I would say in midfield, that Truagh are breaking it away and they're getting the dirty ball on the ground, and Latton are going to have to contest that dirty ball on the ground if they want to win this game.
Referee Anthony Martin's officials are having a fair old chin wag there, and you'd nearly think that Anthony is sort of is keeping wee notes there at the water break.
Yeah, he went in and talked to his umpires at the water break as well. Whether something has happened that we're not sure of, we'll know in a minute if he's going to call in anybody and talk to them. He's looking for somebody, but no, the ball's going to be kicked out by
He's looking
Shane.
round, but I suppose a ball is necessary if we're going to start the game
Well,
again as well.
Shane Black is ready to kick it out. I see Bernard O'Brien is warming up on the sideline. Whether they're going to bring on Bernard for Shane Slevin, that'll be the logical one that they might do. Yet Shane is very young to this game. So Bob, as we know him,
I think he had a wee word there with both James McKenna and with Owen Duffy.
They had a schmozzle after about 5 minutes, if you remember as well.
So it was probably noted, and
yeah.
Good
referee.
Martin, advantage is with Truagh here. It's Adam Trainer advantage still there, and then it's going to come back for the free. There was nothing accruing there. It was just a matter of sizing up the opportunities to go right back to sweepers. John McCarn, John coming forward here, and exactly what you'd expect him to do is to try to turn defence into attack. John goes through again.
Adam Yankees free if they can see him.
Ryan Moan in possession, gets it across to cousin Aaron. Aaron again, he's been busy. He's looking, will he have a pop from here? Aaron Moan, the right foot. Yes, that's to the left and wide.
But it was very bad marking. But nobody went to meet him from the Latton's perspective. They should have closed him down an awful lot quicker. We all know how good Aaron Bowen is, and somebody has to take the responsibility to stop him from building up those attacks.
Change of tact here from Shane Black. He's gone back for the build up from the back rather than the high ball into the middle of the field. It comes across to McCabe. Setting up attack. Slevin's next in line. Mulligan contenders, but Slevin, the ball went both ways. Niall Rooney it was who judged to put the ball out over the line, and again it'll give Aaron Mulligan a chance to maybe set up something for Latton. Back it comes here to Thomas Connolly. Steve McCabe. Certainly an important utility player here. McCabe,
it's on a lot of
lovely pass. He certainly does. Connolly now finds space for the first time in the game. Niall McQuillan's in attendance, and Connolly's kick just did a wee let me know you're there from Niall just before he kicked the ball there, and the ball came down.
Christopher Rice was in on top of it.
It was, but it's a wide ball still. I think the kick out is going to be with goalkeeper Caelan McGee. Caelan from Drumconnelly, the regular number 1 for the Gales at the moment, and he sets a very, very impressive ball out in the direction of Ryan Moan. Ryan not winning the tussle there, the ball breaking loose, and Michael Wright sends it right back across to Thomas Phillips.
That's a good ball there now. Owen Duffy has it now.
Owen Duffy, danger man here. Owen takes the shot. It was curling, and it's to the right and wide is the a bit hesitant, the umpires there. What was your take on that particular incident, Frank? Now?
This one here, I think he was waiting for the far umpire to tell him it was wide, so it looked like it could have curled, but They're down underneath the ball, so they
wee
can
bit
see
of-
it an awful lot better than what we can.
Wee
here.
bit of what Kavanagh would say, the wink and nod language of delight between the umpires, but nothing too definitive coming from them. There's a wee bit of tearing and one going on in the middle of the field, but we don't hear and we don't there, and Bob's your uncle. It's McCabe anyone that come back to Lynch, who are setting up the attacks here for Latton. Latton certainly in the last 2 or 3 minutes are the busier of the two teams. It's Hugh McElroy for Mulligan. Mulligan, you can't give him that kind of space because that's what he does, but it just drops short.
Yeah, this is it's like the first half. Latton were all over them for the first 5 minutes, and then Truagh got into it, and this is a carbon repeat of it again. Latton have been the most impressive for the last 5 minutes, so Truagh are now building up slowly again.
They are indeed. Ball comes across this time to Adam Traynor.
He's going to be on a lot of
All
ball today.
players are dragged outfield. There's a little bit of reorganisation going on from both teams, but Adam can give remarkable space to come through here. James McKenna, James taking the shot. James, that's a peach of a point from James McKenna. He was under a lot of pressure there, Frank, and he just really kept a cool head and snapped nicely up the ball.
You have to say, but a lot of the scores have come through Adam. Adam has been on an awful lot of ball.
Oh, just
Bad
looking at
kick
he
out
gets
here.
the ball here across. Comes to Christopher. Christopher McKenna, the ball's in the back of the net.
Bad kick out, didn't go to the intended target, and
Carbon
Truagh.
copy actually of an incident in the True Scotsman match when Rory Bankin hit the ball out and was intercepted and a goal arose. In that time there, it was McAnally was the provider rather than the scorer, and it was Christopher McKenna. Christopher always looking for that goal opportunity. A point would never do, and that now puts the difference of a goal and 6 to 2 points between the two teams.
And Latton had been the better team for the first 5 minutes, so Latton have a lot of work to do now. They have to get back into this game.
I think that urgency's there. McCabe it is with the ball. McCabe going forward. They know that there's a response needed from Latton.
Yes, they need to score
Connolly.
a point in there.
Conley playing much deeper in the last minute or two.
That's a wasted ball. Terrible ball.
It was a wasted ball, but there was
referee's given a free in. Anthony Martin's given a free in. That's
yeah, we could see that Hugh McElroy was having a wee bit of a get to know you there with Owen Kelly. And
so it'll be a 6-point game after this now. And we've plenty of time. But the Truagh are a better team at the minute. So they are.
Hugh McElroy, many a time he broke through hearts with a point from here, and he's damned intent on doing the same here this afternoon at St Mellons Park.
Well, Truagh is, Kiwi has always been a great man to score. His scoring ability has been second to none in the county for the last 20 years. And I'm sure Adele is glad to see him out of the house and back training.
Well, he's not wasting the time that he's out of the house. Again, the interception from the kick out.
Shane Slevin.
Goalkeepers will both be aware of that. Slevin, he's moving forward, he's strong.
Yeah, he's a grandson of the old famous Seamus McElroy.
Well, the ball broke to the left and it was wide. To the right
Latton
of
have had
wide.
4 bad wides. You know, if they had them wides, it'd be only 1 goal game. We say if they'd even taken 2 of them. Their shot selection has been poor.
Now, Killen McGee, he'd be very mindful that last kick out resulted in pretty much a Latton attack, and that's the last thing you want. Too many men up for the ball from a true perspective. It drops back right down to Stephen McElroy. This time it's Conley. Conley's playing very deep this last 10 minutes, yeah.
You need to bring him into the game. He's the type of a young lad that needs to be on the ball a lot, and the more he gets on the ball, the better he gets.
Mulligan feeds Rice.
Rice
There's a man coming through here.
Oh, bad ball. Bad pass.
The sweeper system for truth there is just as
Yeah, well, the pass wasn't good enough either. It was Tommy McPhillips. It was too far away from him. Now Truagh build again.
James McKenna. James going to have to forage for this one here. Down he will go. And
yes, you could see it. You could see the free was coming. As soon as he bent over, your man had the hand on the back and the free was coming.
It's pretty much full marks for getting down every time, isn't it, like in this game? So Christopher changed his mind. Give James a bit of work to do here on this ball here.
No, there's something
back
happening.
down to a pedestrian pace. I think we're still in play, believe
we
it
are.
or not.
I thought the way everybody had stopped that the referee said take it again, but he didn't.
Christopher McKenna, the goal scorer here,
And 2
Owen
points.
Kyle attends. He sends this trademark pass across to Rooney. Cormac McKenna, and Cormac says, James, I want to join you on the score sheet. And the point that time from Cormac McKenna.
Would that not have been the mark as well?
Yeah, and I don't know if he called for one or not, but
because it was a sure point, guaranteed point if he taken the mark. So yes, we haven't seen it yet in the game, Paddy, in this game, a forward or backs mark. Yeah. Latton are struggling all over the place now. They do. I don't know what they can do. Maybe bring on Bernard O'Brien and bring a little bit of experience into it. But it might be the full 30 minutes in them, and we're only midway through the first half. Yeah. Stephen Rice. Yes.
One with our back cat territory there, I think, from a true perspective for Stephen Rice.
Christopher Rice turned and it looked like he might have overturned the mark, but referee's given a free. Aaron Mulligan could score this. It's just on the 45-yard line.
This is
10 yards in. It's kickable for him.
It's certainly within his range and ability to reduce the deficit from here. It's a goal in 7 at the moment to Truagh, and 3 points to McCourture, who are Latton O'Rahilly's. Mulligan looking for a second of the match. Well, it's all of the distance, but it took a
Latton have only scored 1 point from play that I can remember in the first 25 minutes of the game, so it says it all. Truagh have scored 1-4, 1-5 from play.
Yeah, kicks like that from Mulligan are important kicks in terms of morale when you're a bit down.
But he
point there would have lifted them there, and as you say, it was like a paint that came down. The ball's gone up high. There's one Truagh man up, the other one is down, and that's the tactic very much. James McKenna. James at the centre of the game, back across to Porrick Trainer. Porrick to John McCarn. John, very much a director of affairs out there at the moment. Owen Kelly, Owen fancy a run at this one here. Owen Kyle will say, I'll stop him. Then back it comes to Adam Trainer, playing very deep. Trainer and Kelly exchanging the passes as they take a patient approach here under the guidance of Lauren Strain. Back the ball comes to John McCarn. Maybe it's the conditions, but there's been no hurry whatsoever.
He calls the mark. First mark.
For mark, it was Arnold who took it, and it was Cormac McKenna who tried to double his contribution to the game, but he drops to the left and wide.
There's no pressure to be put on the kicker for all from Truagh. Once he gets it, he knows he's going to have 2 or 3 seconds in which he can pick his spot. So Latton have to get a lot tighter on defence.
Again, it was the errant kick out there that fell the way of McCrory. McCrory sees the gap, sees his man. That man is Cormac McKenna. Coming back to Colin McCrory, Colin to the left of the post.
And wide.
He had his hand up, but I don't know why you'd have your hand up unless he was looking for
a 45, I'd say.
A free or a 45.
Where's Anthony Martin? It is a 45. It is.
Lord, it is. That surprised both of us, I think, Frank.
Yeah, well, they were both beside it, so Colin was adamant it was. So
Christopher McKenna will be who will take this here. Certainly, we know he has the distance. It's the matter of whether Christopher can do the conversion job.
Yes, it's much the same position where Aaron Mulligan was 2 minutes ago. So
it is. Christopher takes the shot, as it says. He has the distance, he has the accuracy, and the ball is over the bar.
That's the difference in the two teams today. Every chance that Truagh have got, they've taken. Every chance that Latton have got, they've only taken 20% of it.
Yeah, and I suppose we have to agree there. Latton 3 points is a poor tally. To be fair,
one from play.
Their amount of possession should have yielded more than that.
Yeah, but there's no wind. There's no mitigating circumstances. It's just been maybe that it's a building process, and we have to accept that in Latton. It could be a few years before we're back to the top table, the real top table. We could stay where we are.
Well, Frank, if I know Latton, this game's anything but over. There'll be a kickback somewhere in the game before.
There will be. It's always a kickback, but you're talking about 8 points now.
Ball breaking. Stephen McCabe trying to break through. Cian Maguire, Cian is getting the name taken there for a bit of holding, and Cian not giving an inch there, and as a result there's going to be a carta involved. I assume it'll be a carta Bui from the Rachor, and that's exactly what he gets.
I'm surprised that Latton aren't giving that on to Mulligan. He was very close with the last one. No, they kick it across. They're very meticulous and they're slow in their build up, and they allow Truagh to get back into defend.
Well, ultimately that proved a very good decision because come forward, come with the man, Kieran Duffy.
Yeah,
really not heavily involved in the game up to now.
That's
Came
the first
forward.
time we've mentioned him.
Yeah, that's the first time I mentioned him, but very solid contribution by Kieran there. And I was going to say maybe decision making, the decision to not go for that risky point paid off well for them there.
Kieran took it well, but that's what he's a leader. He's the county player. He's vice captain of the county. He has to take this game by the scruff of the neck and say, "Come on, lads, we're better than this."
4 points now to Latton, a goal and 8 to kill Truagh in the first half here. It's no longer the first half because the Laham Taka we're at half time here at St Melon's Park. Delighted to bring you this game again, free of charge, might I add, free of charge. But you'll be seeing on the video, one of the reasons that is Truagh have really relaunched their online lotto. You're encouraged to avail of that. In fact, go ahead and do it at half time if you can here, if you want to make a contribution. And you will be seeing images of how you can contribute to do that. And we'll talk a little bit more and on like that. The other thing here at half time, just before I hand over to Frank for a final comment on the first half, the club here really have had such an energetic response to COVID in terms of all the games. I was down here this morning and there was no fewer than 5 games on in different points around the number of fields here at one particular time. And Cool Camp was here during the week, and if anything was a tonic for the heart after weeks and weeks of lockdowns, etc., just to be here for Cool Camp was fantastic, and we'll be sharing some of the key images from Cool Camp with you. Frank, what's Latton's halftime talk going to entail?
Latton's halftime talk, he will have to make 1 or 2 changes. He's going to have to make a decision whether he wants to bring in a few more of the younger lads or bring on some. Stephen Fitz made an awful difference when he came on last Sunday against Latton. Bernard O'Brien, you all know what he's like. Does he decide, well, I'm going to go for broke here and put on these lads and see can we get back in the game? Because at the minute there's only one team in the game. And I know, Paddy, you've said that Latton will get a kick, but they have to get a kick of 7 points just to draw it. And the way Truagh are scoring there, Truagh are scoring at will, and there's no pressure being put on them when they get the ticks. And even the goal, okay, it was a mistake, but it's a mistake that you were badly punished for.
Yeah, I suppose from a true perspective, they're going to. I think one thing that they're inevitably going to have to talk about is the fact that we have 2 players on a yellow card, and that can be discipline's going to be really, really tight and important in the second half. That a red card isn't seen, and it would be a little fear from the true perspective. I think it'll be very much a message of keep doing what you're doing, don't panic, and continue to stick to the shape that they have on the field. It'll be very important. This game here, of course, has been brought to you courtesy of Fausto from Lavery's Videos here. And Fausto has been the busiest of men in recent times, and we're delighted that he's once again available to us in the club here to provide the things. A credit to Monaghan County Board, to the host club here in terms of the meticulous preparations that's been there, the effectiveness of the stewards, the provision of PPE equipment, and the way that the game has been organised by the Truagh Club. So it's we just noticed here Fausto has arrived, Frank, with tea. So Tashinam done tea, and
they not only do the camera work, but they bring the tea and the buns and the biscuits. Their talents know no bounds. And I must say, I missed the tea last week in Scotstown. When I came back, they had all the apple tart and everything yet. So I made sure I didn't go anywhere today that I was going to get. These buns are very good for the diabetes.
Right. So on that note, we'll be joining you in another 10 minutes or so with the second half.
just want to thank everybody for coming to the camp this week. I know the weather mightn't have been cooperating enough with us, but it was great to see so many. Everybody looks great in their kits. Just like to thank all the supervisors from Truagh that came to help the coach. Wouldn't have happened, only they were here. So we had a good, I think, 20 rotating all week. So a big build of us for all the supervisors. Yeah, and don't forget to download the Lotto
Club Force
Club Force
app.
so that you can keep up to date with everything that's going on in Truagh. All right, thank you.
Big round of applause for Anne and her team, guys. Big Falcher Ash St. Mellons. Hope you enjoyed the tea. We certainly did, thanks to Fosto here. Also thanks to Mark Mullen here of National Monitor. Mark, you're doing a stellar job there, ensuring that the technology is working for us. We believe that there's well in excess of 1,000 people, if you added it all up, per prescription, watching this game from very, very unusual corners of the earth. And that's the beauty, I suppose, of what we've learned from COVID is why not provide games in hospitals, provide games to people at home, provide games to people who has a cow stuck in a shuff somewhere and can't get out, that they all can come and get a wee chance to take a look at this here. Frank Latton looking for urgency here at the beginning of the second half.
Latton, I was down there with the crowd, and a lot of the home supporters are disillusioned with the way they're playing. They're playing defensively, they're all over the place. Truagh are playing with 5 forwards, and yet they still have plenty of time for that forward when he gets on the ball to take his shot, and no pressure on him at all. Latton have a lot to do.
Well, we're back in action here. Every man punches. The ball comes down to Thomas Connolly. Connolly out on the 40 now. Across to Mulligan. It's Owen Kelly with Mulligan. And brought back out again here now. It's in the hands of Owen Duffy. Duffy to McCabe. If anything, the busiest of the Latton players, the most purposeful at times in the first half. But again, shot selection sometimes. That was that tough shot to take on.
It wasn't. It was one he shouldn't have taken on at this stage. Now, he's well capable of scoring that. He's shaking his head there. He knows he could have done better. But Latton need a few scores, and there's a handy enough kick out. Number 29 is on for the Truagh. They have made a change.
We'll have to go look as to.
Yeah, I saw them making a change there. I don't know who came on or who went off, but number 29 is on.
Cross it comes there to Aaron Moan.
One of the players that was booked maybe has gone. I don't know yet. Look at the speed, and Stephen is struggling to keep up with him. Well blocked by Thomas Lynch.
Thomas Lynch certainly cut out the danger there from that perspective.
But Kiwi McElroy is just on the halfway line now, and if they're going to get scores, he's but the only man that looked like scored in the first half. They're going to have to put him in there, make sure he's on. Bernard O'Brien is on for Latton as well, I can see.
Bernard O'Brien is on, and the ball is put in his direction.
Not a bad way. Their shot selection is so that's the change. Bernard O'Brien, I'd say, will probably come on for Shane Slevin, and Bernard O'Brien has definitely, I'd say, would have come on for Shane. Shane has had 2.5 very good games there, and I'd say to bring him experience here with Bernard. So Bernard's closing it down as Truagh build from the back slowly, and they always seem to have that extra man.
Across to John McCarn. Kelly, Niall McQuillan. Niall, legs.
Christopher Rice.
Leg and sinker went that time.
Yeah. Bernard has. Oh, he's brought the ball forward now again. Yeah. People know that discipline has to be an issue with this game. Oh, another ball. Oh, well done by Thomas Lynch.
Thomas Lynch recovered that miraculously. Great display of agility, if anything else. And who else but McCabe is there to take the ball right from his own back line? Covered huge mileage. And away he goes again. The Duracell bunny, if anything, of the Latton team is young Stephen McCabe. Kieran Duffy, he's got a point to his name. He wants a second. He takes the shot. And it's to the right and wide.
3 wides in 3 minutes, and they have to be scored in 2.5 minutes gone, and they have 3 wides. Thomas Lynch there, he deserved a point for the block because it was definitely going into young McKenna, and that would have been another score. Thomas Lynch did exceptionally well there. But Latton have come into it, but they're not taking the chances, and this won't go on forever. In the first half of after the water break, Latton were by far on top, and Truagh went down and scored a handy score all the time. So that's why Latton are not converting, and that's why they find themselves 7 points down.
Yeah.
Yes, here they come again. They're building through the hands. They're very good building it through the hands and carrying the ball on at pace. They're fit. To be fair, they are a fit team and well focused.
John McCarn. Well, the ball that time, well, it's the granddad of the true team.
Colin McCrory, Terry was playing when I was here in '89. He was coming towards the end of his career, the same as Colin.
I'm sure if you come back in another 20 years, Colin would still be playing.
Well, yeah, well, sure. Hopefully we might be in the situation. Who knows?
A real punisher of a point that there, because Latton had all the pressure, and then up steps Colin McCrory.
Carbon copy of the last 2 times. We'll take him at the water break as a breakdown. Reed didn't think so.
Aaron will fancy we run at this one here if he gets off with it. He's running into a headwind, so he sprays the ball across. Porrick trainer looks at the options available to him.
Yeah, referee now is giving a free back, I think. Adam Traynor has got on a lot of ball, and there's nobody seems to be picking him up. He's coming down there, he's floating down there, and he's not being picked up. Kieran Duffy, I think, has... No, it's Thomas Connolly that has him. But Adam Traynor. How long? Yeah.
And true.
It's great to hear the crowd, the roar of the crowd. You'd miss it.
It's certainly great to hear back here at St. Mellons. It's been a very long time since we've had a crowd in for a competitive game.
Yeah.
Ball come to Ronan Boyle, right up from corner back, just on the field.
And you were talking about him
Vince
half
McCrory.
time, that he wasn't making the team a superstar last year or an all-star last year.
Yeah, Ronan, an all-star. I think it's Keane that's gone off there. Again, County All-Ireland all-star title for the game. Right, the ball goes high. Huey comes. Niall McQuillan is in attendance. Niall was guarding the nest very well there, too well. According to referee Anthony Marn, Hugh McElroy, Mulligan's inside. He doesn't go for the pass. He goes for what he knows best. He goes for the point, and he sets Latton up for the first point of the second half.
Yeah, and that's 3 points he's got at 41 years of age. You know, he's still a magician at this level. And he's done very well today, and it's justified getting him back for a while.
Well, we talked at the beginning about youth. It's experience that's scoring the points in the second half here.
You have Dara Dempsey there. He's been a very good footballer. Maybe it's time to give him a run. I see Stephen Fitzpatrick is warming up. He'll bring a bit of passion and know-how into the game. So I'd say Stephen will come on very soon.
True. Well, we're going to be careful here. This is the third name in the little black book. This time it is Cormac McKenna who is picking up what one presumes would be a yellow card there. Yeah, indeed it is a yellow card. It was anything but a dirty tackle, Frank. Tell the truth.
It was anything, but it was harsh enough. But he's been giving out hand enough yellow cards today, but at least they're not black, so we have to say that it's Aaron Mulligan. It's Bernard Bryan, I think, that's taking this one. So this is a score. No, it's Aaron Mulligan. It's a score that they have to score.
Aaron will fancy this here and throws it left
just
back. I don't think
45.
he'd ever let anybody else take a shot from there except Aaron Mulligan. But the answer is to the left and wide. He's not on fire today like what he would normally be. And
that shoulder injury seems to have taken a lot out of him, and he struggled last week in Scottstown, and he's struggling again today, because Aaron is definitely the future of Latin football and maybe modern football, but today it's just not happening for him. And it's going to be a learning process for him. And maybe this is good for him, that he sees the bad days as well as the good days, because he's had nothing but great days.
Left-footed kick out this time. Very well done by Ciaran McGee to Aaron Moan. Aaron will run past anyone on a good day. He sends across to cousin Ryan. Ryan, a cool ball forward. It's Christopher McAnanley, and Rooney goes forward. Rooney ploughing through, and now he wants to make the journey across. Colin McCrory. A little dump there that certainly served him well in winning back that ball, and back it comes to Adam Traynor. Adam, when he go inside, already sprayed out round. The ball goes across to the other side. It's Boyle looking forward to the ball just on the feed. He's more than busy. Ronan Boyle is through. Oh dear,
he should have
Ronan.
taken himself.
Well, the kick was taken by Cormac McKenna, but over the bar, but he had a chance there.
Ronan should have gone for a goal.
In fairness, we had a corner back in that territory where you're not familiar, and just on the field, Ronan says, "Look, I'm going to spread the responsibility."
And we're still 8 points, and Latton have owned the ball. So, like, Latton's shot selection and ability to score today is very poor.
Goal intended is to 5 points here at Truagh. Second half, anybody's just joined us, it's I suppose a dominant true performance to this point in the game, and Latton's I suppose player of the match is on the ball is Stephen McCabe. McCabe across to Owen Kyle, and McCabe back again.
Steve McCabe has a young brother, Connor, who's equally as good. He just doesn't seem to be getting on at the moment.
If I had a brother belonging to a boy like that, I'd have him on the field, because he said and this time
Connor would have been on the minors. Steve was on the minors in 14 with me. A good player.
Reaching for his black book again. Must have been an off the ball incident on that occasion. Making a tick to some name. I didn't quite catch watching the ball there. And
did we find out who young Boyle came on for?
Yeah, I think it's Cian Maguire is the player. Cian was on a yellow card.
And he's young.
So it's one member of Monaghan's under 17 from panel from last year, Ulster Champions, of course, facing another. And
Kiwi McAray's turn up for his 4 point out of 6 if he scores this.
Kiwi kicks it.
No.
It's well to the right and wide.
Yes,
and
that's 5 wides for Latton in the second half alone, and that's 5 points. Given that they should have got at least 4 of them, it would have been a 110 to 9 point game, and maybe what you said earlier on might have been true. So Tommy Lynch is coming off now. He was on a lot of ball. Seems harsh enough decision.
Lynch, he certainly was busy the whole way. You might keep an eye, Frank. There's coming.
Ryan Moan. Stephen Fitzpatrick's after coming on.
Ryan Moan rose into the air there, was challenged as he came down, but
Stephen Fitzpatrick, he's after coming on.
Superb catch. This time it's cross again. Colin McCrory once again on the ball. He feeds it through to McInerney.
Penalty.
Yes, McInerney's left boot to touch that. There's only going to be one outcome, and the outcome now is that there's a penalty. I'm sure there's going to be some form of booking as well to go with it, because
it's to be fair, it's young Tommy McPhillips. He's not dirty in any way. It was he got his legs tangled. I'd say Tommy has been one of the best man markers in Latton. He's only 18, unlucky not to have been on the minor team last year. Hopefully he'll just give him a yellow card and not a black card, and I see his first cousin is standing up there, standing for him. It's a learning process for Tommy. It's his second senior game ever, so it was one of those things that your man was clean through, and Christopher McKenna will take this. I think it's Christopher, isn't it? Yes.
Christopher is the designated Desi when it comes to the penalty taking duties here at St. Melon's Park.
Yeah, it's a yellow card. Yeah, he's given the yellows all day, so it's fair enough. There's no need for anything else. Oh, it's black. It looked yellow from here, but it's black. Tommy's off for 10 minutes. So.
Yeah, Latton down to 14. Probably the last thing they needed right now. Yeah. Tommy, I suppose it was influenced by the proximity to goal. The fact that it was one of those situations probably that the black card was invented for when you go and tackle the man that's about to pull the trigger. For Tommy, that's, as you say, it's a learning experience here.
He's a young lad. He's a good young lad. He's a strong lad. He's a very, very quiet young lad. Nice young lad, well-mannered. It's a learning process for him, and I'm sure he'll learn a lot more today. This is his second game of senior football.
Chris McKenna with a shot. Christopher with the goal. His second of the match. A definitive point one would feel in the game. And
it's 2-10. No, Paddy, I don't think even Latton can come back from this. Let's be realistic here. It's 11-point game, and Latton are not playing well enough, even though they've had 5 bad wides in the second half.
You wouldn't know if you had a wee drop under water what could happen, Frank, here, but the ball comes out high into the middle of the field again, through with the tails up and pouring through with the ball. The extra man. The ball has been sent forward to the double goal scorer, Christopher McKenna. Christopher in possession. This time the right-footed kick right across.
45.
But for
Christopher Rice.
Christopher Rice's attention there. Christopher has covered a lot of ground, Christopher Rice there, and made huge strides to get back there, because young McInerney would have been in again, Christopher McInerney, and
it's 45. They scored the last one, and you'd expect that they might score this one again. So
we
scoring difference will come into it as well. So it's important that when you have the foot on the neck, you should score more, because scoring difference will be a difference if 3 teams end up on 6 points, and both teams have to play Carrick, and ye have to play Truagh, have to play Blaney. So
it is Christopher McKenna who's going to take this, of course. And
so if you win this with a good scoring difference, there's young Dara Dempsey coming on. He is the makers of a fabulous footballer, and he'll be good to come on and get the experience.
Christopher McKenna, he's had a fantastic game for Truagh here.
2-4.
Yeah, and he's just invincible. Therefore. It's exciting to see Dara Dempsey join the fray.
He will be joining in a minute now.
Dara, of course, another of the Latton players, decorated with an All-Ireland College's medal with Ballybay Community College. I had the pleasure of watching them all and celebrate in style back last year. And if anything, it was so disappointing that they didn't get a chance to repeat the feat this year. Qualified for a second All-Ireland, some of these lads. And huge learning curves and experience for the Latton boys in getting in at colleges football.
There was 5 or 6 Latton boys. There was Owen Duffy was on that team, Tommy Inda McPhillips, who hasn't got a run yet, another fine cornerback, in spite that they didn't throw him in. Today is the day to throw him on. Dara Dempsey, as we said, Owen Duffy, Michael Kyle. There's a lot of lads there from Latton. I think Latton had Thomas Fitzpatrick, 6 or 7 lads on it. So they're bringing off, it looks like it's Thomas, they're bringing on Dara Dempsey in, so it'd be interesting to see who's coming off.
Well, Dara certainly give an option on a high ball in the forward line as well.
Dara will score, but as you say, he's only 18 no matter what we say. So, we haven't seen who's come on. Oh yes, Shane Kyle is now. Shane Kyle. I don't know who is
Back we are. Just to recap, it's 2-11 now to Truagh, 5 points to Latton. Through with another attack. This time it's Adam Traynor. Adam murdering his eye. He sends it across to Minnie McCrory. The ball is hopped. Back to Adam Traynor. The ball's the back of the net. The game probably now. It's a big stretch for Latton from here on in.
Even you, Paddy, you'd have to say that. I think you'd want more than lose water. You'd have to go to knock as well. We still don't know who came off.
Wish that there's a bit of a consultant going on here. This goal might not be as nailed down as we thought it would be. Where was McCrory when the ball arrived? Was he in the danger zone?
Well, we have the camera here. Can these boys roll it back? They're not going to roll it back.
I was an umpire of the game earlier in the week, and I was accused of being a wee bit soft in terms of a square ball, but no, it was a genuine goal. The player moved in. It's a goal here again as well.
And would that be a true goal, or would it be
I'm not say.
We just wondered, was it hometown decision again? So I still don't know who came. Stephen Latton only taken off the man now. They had 15 men on. We handed him on the ground there. Stephen McArray's off for Dara Dempsey, but it's funny that break of play they had a man on for a minute. So. Of
course, McArray's loss. It's a loss of a lot of physicality in the middle of the field there.
McArray came into this game with a dead leg. Yeah. He did come into it with a dead leg. So
it's the sort of player you need around the middle of the field, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the fella you need around the middle of the field.
Okay, I think this might be. Is it? Maybe a bit of frustration creeping into Stephen McCabe. He's had an excellent game, a very like real ultimate team player throughout.
It's to find Stephen's best position. I always maintain that Stephen's best position is probably in the half-back line, where he can carry the ball at pace, and he can really carry it at pace, and he's a good player. But he's a confidence player, and when his confidence is up, he's a fantastic player.
The moving forward here of Ronan Boyle since he came in at the beginning of the second half has made a huge difference here as well, because he has offered yet another option to the Truagh boys going forward. It's Colin McCrory once again in the danger territory. Back to Boyle. Christopher McKenna, he'll just fancy whipping back out to Porrick Traynor. Porrick probably would say, wouldn't mind scoring a point here in St. Mellons. It's been a while. No, it's laid off. The team play takes over all. James, rush of blood to the head, and out the ball goes to the right and wide.
When I was down here in '89, we used to have small goals that side. Maybe he thought they were still there, but Latton are going to make a few more changes. Now maybe it's time Latton to start bringing on. So there's that number 21 is Conor McCabe. He's the young lad I was talking about. Latton are going to make changes here. Shane Kyle is coming in.
Shane Kyle and Conor McCabe about to be introduced to the fray. It's a water break anyway, and a time to draw breath. A tough 16 or 17 minutes there for Latton.
It was. The first 5 minutes they owned the ball, they had the 5 wides, and then all of a sudden 2 goals came, and it was just the end of it for Latton. They haven't performed today either, but as I said, they're in a process. The management have come in. They're a good young management. Owen is a good man. We all know what he can do with the county, and it's a building process, and I'd say it's going to be a few years, but I think if they do enough to stay up this year, which they should, it should be enough to keep them where they want to be and build on it.
A fair wee peppering of cards here for a clean game, Frank.
Yeah, 5. I think it's 4. Is it 4-2 or 4-1? Yes, but I suppose Anthony's always ruled with a stick. He's gone in talking to his umpires again. He does this at the water break. So Anthony's an inter-county referee, and he has refereed it reasonably well. There's no major decisions. We haven't really noticed them other than the yellow cards. Yeah. He's out talking to McNally there. He's pointing everywhere again. So that's the Emmy Vale man now.
Yes, indeed,
our smarty. So there's 2 inter-county referees out there. So we're honoured today that we've 2 inter-county referees.
The officials have, I suppose, maybe they haven't been overly exercised. The intensity has been there, but not with spades. Just a wee quick reminder here, it's our last break. The game coming to you here free of charge from St. Mellons Park. And Lotto is back up and running and through. Clubs really, I'm sure Latton the same, really stretched for a few pounds. Traditional fund not available to you as crowds. So for all of you here, and if you've witnessed literally if you multiplied everybody's multiple engagements here in the field over the last week, thousands of players down here during the week. We need the money, and if you could go into the True Force, follow the Facebook, the Twitter, get online, get involved in the Lotto. It's so important for the future of our club and the development of players.
Yes, I have to say that his money is unfortunately needed in all these things just to pay for the day-to-day expenses such as physio and things like that. So.
Truagh making one change here. I see Niall Kyle has entered the fray. We'll pick up on who is leaving. Niall is going to come into the forward line. Colin McCrory's still there. Christopher McAnanley's on a card, but he's still there. Ryan Mohan moving to the middle of the field. Maybe it's Porrick Trainer, I think, is probably the player that has dropped off, gone into the final quarter of the game. So it's Ryan out to the middle. A chance for Ryan to exercise the muscles in the high ball in the middle of the field. And a good chance too for a veteran player, Niall Kyle, to prove his stake for an ongoing place in the team as we move into further parts of this championship.
Yeah, your next game will be a tough game. I think is next game Carrick or Blaney?
I think we're Blaney next as far as
Blaney's next and then, yeah.
Carrick says Foster here beside us and we're...
that just shows what a bad day it has. Conor McCabe is replacing young Mulligan, so it's just young Mulligan. It hasn't happened for him, but it'll be a learning process for him, and what doesn't kill you will make you stronger, and he'll come back as a much better player. He's caught a very good ball there.
Another player, I suppose, having a quiet day is Kieran Duffy here.
Yes, Kieran has been very quiet. Yes. Kieran does a much better job at a man-marking job. He gets that in the counter.
Conor McCabe starts with a beautiful ball through, right across into Bernard O'Brien. And again to Hugh McElroy. McElroy was so tempted to swing a right foot at that. He left it for Kyle. And Kyle's splits the post. And he's off the mark in the game here. And again, the Latton recovery. We're at 6 points.
14-point game. Paddy, no amount of holy water is going to get this one saved. Yes, it's true. Much
Owen
quicker.
Kelly sending the ball forward. Again, too much space maybe being afforded there. Drew minus Cormac McKenna. How many times has he not been up the field today? Cormac sends it back to Adam Trainer. Adam right across to Ryan Moan. Ryan is going to have a go at this. Ryan is going to hit it right across the bar. Splits the posts. Ryan, he was back into the position that he's just been moved out of, that right half forward. And the wee release into the middle of the field give him a chance to explore and to get his name on the score sheet.
Latton are making a change. They're taking off Tommy McPhillips. His 10 minutes is served. And Shane Kyle will be coming on. So a back for a forward. So
it's just Kyle for McPhillips. High ball comes out. Toes and fingers everywhere rather. Ronan Boyle, that's one thing, Ronan's not going to let go of the ball. Right across.
Adam Trainer, you talk about Stephen McCabe and the Latton League. I'd say Adam Trainer has been on a lot more ball than anybody else.
An immense game for Truagh, in very much a new role for Adam. Very much instead of the score taker, the playmaker, and he's been hugely instrumental in that role. Cormac McKenna will come forward once again. Cormac with the inside of the right foot. Beautiful point.
That came from Colin McCrory again. Like Colin McCrory is having the game of his life, and he's saying he's putting a marker down that Gary Mohan might be back next week, but I'm not going to make place for him. Because on today's performance, Colin McCrory has been superb. So now the 10 minutes must be up. So Martin McAnally is saying, whenever the 10 minutes is up, Shane Kyle is going on.
We're going to have another change here in the Truagh team. And Niall Rooney is making way, and Rory Traynor, who is taking up his place here in the case of the Rooney. Another excellent game in the middle of the field. John McCarn up high.
Excellent game too.
Ball breaks to Ryan Moan. Right comes to Adam Traynor again. Adam back across to Ryan Moan. Well, it's 1-2, 1-2, and over the bar.
I do feel sympathy for Owen, and we've all stood on the sideline and things. Every time the other team just shoots, puts it over the bar. It's a hard place to be.
Adam Traynor that time, the score.
That's his second point, and he's been on so many more. He scored one early on.
I think probably one thing that's most pleasing from Truagh's perspective, shot selection has been very, very good. And even there, it would have been the temptation to take the score, but no, it was laid off to Adam. He was just in that little bit of a better position, and he took that very, very well.
Yes, Latton are just waiting for the game to be finished now. I think they know themselves in their heart, so maybe put up and get a few scores. Owen Duffy, this is what he's good at, his trademark run.
There's the man they call the Dodger, and it was just to the right and wide.
That's 7 wides in the second half, and they've only scored 2 points, so 3 points. So their shooting has to improve as well.
10 minutes is now over.
Yeah. So
For Sin Binning.
Shane Kyle is on for young Tommy McPhillips. So Shane's gone in the forward. So whoever they want to push back probably won't go anybody back because Truagh, and number 7 is off for Truagh as well.
I see Cormac.
Maybe, or is he?
No, he's still around there.
Oh, he's still
I
around
think
there.
Cormac McKenna is who was in a fantastic game, who is now left the fray over from Truagh. And I think it's when we try and pick up, there's that many players turning around there to see who's on.
Number 18 is on.
Is Aidan Coyle, I think, that's joined the fray. And Tristan again for the goal. Well, there may be a wee bit of a dump on the back there. Yes. Niall McQuillan.
Another day you probably got a free end, but with the score the way it is,
But it might be sort of a territory that I'd say Niall hasn't seen in many years, coming from full back.
Niall has been a great servant of the club.
Nothing worse than a goalie with words in his eyes and your full back looking into him there.
Yeah. There's Kieran now. We have to see more of this from Kieran.
That's what Truagh have suffered under for many a was them running forward by Kieran Duffy. A really important role being provided right throughout this game here by John McCarn. You see, John is always the cover man, always the person who's available to take that pass from the cornerbacks.
You're going to see another one of your famous yellow cards. I think Bernard O'Brien is going to get one this time. So.
Oh, he had to work hard for it.
Yeah, so he's going to. That's 8 or 9 and 1 black card, so it's not that type of game. But it is. As we said, the referee, other than the yellow cards, has had a very good game. But it has been an easy game to ref because Truagh have always been on top. And Latton's heads are down at the minute, and he's going to have to get them up for the last game against Carrick. Now he has 2 weeks in which to get them up. So
I think one area Owen Lennon would be particularly interested in. It'll be just the backs are very open there at times, Frank, and it doesn't contribute towards instilling confidence into players further up the field, because.
In all games all year, they've been very defensively minded, but maybe they're too defensively minded. Maybe they should just get on with it. Every man mark his man and see where that takes us.
Here we go. It's John McCarr, not for the first time running forward. Yeah. Cool and calm and collective on the ball. Sends it out to Christopher McKenna. Christopher, massive game again for Christopher. Send it across to Kyle. And Niall Kyle comes forward. He wants to join the action. He wants to join the scoreboard. It just burst down. Shane Black that time, right out of the top drawer.
Yeah, that's what Shane does. Shane was the Ballybay goalkeeper that year as well, so he is a good goalkeeper. He's learning. He's only 18. It's a learning experience for Shane as well. So, it's and
the intensity is gone though.
Yeah, the game's over. The game's over. Right. Latton know they're beaten. Truagh know they have won it. So. I'm surprised they haven't given Brian Trainor's young Pádraig Traynor a run because I think he's near enough. I thought they might have given him the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Paddy, I think it's for another day. Even Paddy has been sort of recovering again from a bit of an injury, and it's not a day to try out somebody who's coming back from injury. I think that would be of the opinion that a week in the heat and.
Shane Traynor, I'm disappointed as well. I don't know, he had a lot of potential in 13 and he just seems to have never fulfilled it. No manager has.
Well, if
he struggled to get on the team for the last 2
seasons. If you look over there where Fosto has the bench and just look at the number of young players eager to get into the action here, there's no guarantees.
It's a tough ask.
No. Shane certainly will be in the fray at some point, but one man that'll never be out of it is Christopher McKenna.
It's a lovely free take and strikes it lovely. And Colin McCrory, he'll not be out of it for a week or two on today's performance. He's really set down a marker. You were winning before Latton started winning minors. You were the team to beat in minors, so they have to be there and they have to come through. And as I said, you're 2 or 3 years ahead of Latton in your development.
Yeah, a number of those players, to be fair, have come forward from one of our minor winning teams.
Yeah, you have 2 horns there.
John McCarn.
Dennis McKenna's young lad.
Caelan is not far away. He's over there somewhere, and
he has been out of football for a year.
He's out for a year, but back in.
He was a great prospect at a younger age. Yeah.
First presence of mind, maybe a player calling the mark in a long time. There were a number of opportunities where players could have called the mark. Aaron Moan taking this shot.
Bad wide. He shot. The selection to take the that Mark was right, but the shot selection was poor. But
Yeah.
it's 3:15 to 6 points. It's
See-
18-point game. You know, we
No,
couldn't have
that's-
seen that coming down.
Yeah, Matty Flood, I think it is, has joined the fray,
Yeah.
and he's trying to work out
Matthew
who's-
said another goal they could have played.
Yeah, and the big round of applause is for Colin McCrory, who
Yeah.
a savage day out there, and yeah.
And Noel Flood, how's his shoulder? Speaking of the floods.
Noel is back hurling again.
Yeah, Noel is making a fine footballer too at one stage.
Yeah, totally dedicated to hurling at the minute now.
He loves hurling.
Quite a few of the boys here now have become dual players within the football panel.
Yeah.
And
Well, they can this year because it's such a short.
just look at the way that Steve McCabe doesn't give in at all. He just keeps going there all the time. Well,
There's Owen.
but Ryan Molan wasn't put in the effort there. Cousin Aaron would claim he was fouled. The ball breaks from Aidan Kyle. Now it is with another Kyle. There's Kyles on Kyles.
Two brothers, Owen and Shane.
And two brothers on our side as well, involved in the through setup. But Owen Kelly again, very solid evening here.
He has had a great game.
Yeah, moving the ball.
There's been no pressure on them for a while. The results, it's been a
Christopher
game.
McInerney, goal scorer, sets the ball forward to Adam Traynor. Adam, he's on his own. Again, the pass through to Boyle. Boyle is back in unfamiliar territory here. The ball breaks again. Oh, and a peach from Adam Traynor. Adam Traynor it was. He deserved that. He put in all the miles, all the effort all evening. And the goal it was. So
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for Latton to lift themselves up after this game.
yeah, it's
You know,
a total now of 4:15 to 6 points.
6 points. It's over 20 p.m. games. You know. So
John Traynor as he enters the fray for Truagh.
Yeah, we're
It
into
is Conor
injury time.
McCabe, Bernard Bryan, Bernard Turn. Bernard's looking for something. He wants to prove that he's still there. He argues that that's a foot block. To tell you the truth, it was a foot block, Frank. It was Ryan Mohan coming forward. Ryan.
This Truagh team are fit and they're strong and they're athletic.
Yeah, the fitness was really
They're
important.
going to give a run to any team this year. They are, you know.
And yes,
But they are this Truagh team, and we're not going to build them up. They have beaten a bad Latton team on the day, but this Truagh team look fit, they look strong, they're young, they're hungry. You know, they need to get to a county semi-final at least, and maybe even a county final. And
well, I
build on
suppose
it, you know.
we've been knocking for a while. But let's face it, you're either in the danger of going, you're in a quarter final, or you're in the danger of going down the way the championship is set up.
It's a quarter final now after this. You know,
That's where you need to be.
the scoring difference will be such a difference there. So, you know, the Latin people are going. They're disappointed. They haven't given. I see David McCaig down there on the Banty. And the Banty will be looking out there. He won't be looking at anybody in Latin to bring in. He'll have to look at whoever.
I think one player that would catch the eye there on today's performance is Christopher McKenna.
Yeah.
Like in terms of his scoring conversion rate and indeed the manner in which he took every opportunity that was available to him. He never put a foot wrong. Exciting from a Truagh perspective to see the way Ronan Boyd has performed in the second half. He came in there and
The Banty would know him as well, so he will be. You know, the under-20s next year. He'll be there.
Christopher.
I thought he had made his first mistake, but no, it's over the bar. I see Steve McCabe has gone off now. I don't know who came on there for him.
Yeah,
So.
and to be fair to Stephen,
Unless he got a.
he did a lot of the hard work there right throughout this game.
There seemed to be anybody on, so maybe he got a black card that we didn't see. You know.
It was Rory Traynor it is this time. He's going to contest. Rory, just the ball's knocked forward. Second time round, it comes back to Thomas Connolly and John Traynor. It was. Who sort of,
Latin.
faced
Stephen
up to Thomas Connolly.
Stephen McCabe got a black card. Believe it or not, we missed that and all other things because Latin have only 13 players on. So I don't know what he got the black card for him. That's his brother down, so it's not going to be a good day for the McCabe's. Connor has been, unfortunately, in the last few years, injury has been a mainstay of him. He's had a bad time with injuries, so hopefully it's not too serious.
Just a
this
wee
time.
knock on the head, I think, here.
Yeah, because he has plenty of talent. He just needs a run of games to get himself back into where he can play, and he's a good player. But Latin, this will be very hard. as a management team to pick this up? Where do you go after this?
Yeah, and I suppose to be fair, Frank, no team wants to end up at the other end of a scoreline like we have this evening here.
22 points.
And maybe up 2 as well.
Yeah, Damien Duffy's on now, so it's funny that he's only making that switch now.
Yeah.
I don't know what'll happen. Damien, Latton, I don't know where they're going to go at this stage. It's soul destroying, you know. If you don't watch yourself, you fall through the trap door. They need to pull it together now, and they need to be getting ready for whoever.
Well, there's one thing for sure, it's a test of the mettle, and I think Latton very much the experience that Owen Lennon will bring to that will make sure that this will be just one more game, and that they will approach the next game with the intensity that's needed. And the challenge is to take points of Carrick Cross. Ball drops loosely. Owen Kelly, the sweeper on this occasion, brings it out nicely. Aaron Moan, certainly the half back line for Truagh. Moan and the two McKenna brothers. They've been a tour de force, both coughing up opposition ball. Niall McQuillan, he's well out the field in this last while. He's moved out to a sort of a central field role, and this time the ball was kicked high. And once again you thought, Christopher, that was with the right foot now. That's not the usual peg that he was using for that one there. It's just a pity Banty's gone now, isn't it?
He'll get the video of it.
So
I know
maybe somebody might tweet or Twitter or Facebook him and tell him, can we look at the last score of the game?
No,
bad one.
No, David McCaig, as well as I know him, he'll probably get a video of this and he will study it and study it and study it. You know, that's I know with the minors he used to spend hours looking at matches.
So to everybody who's watching the match here, we had, I suppose, an entertaining game for the first half. Truagh were dominant throughout, and that, as Frank says, will be disappointed. We're finishing on a scoreline of 4-17 to 6 points here. One of the biggest championship victories that Truagh have had in recent years.
And the first home championship match.
And again, but above all, this was about football, but it was about the delight of having fans back at St Mellons, about people being out on a sunny summer's day, being able to watch football, and long may that continue. On behalf of Truagh, a big thank you to Frank Brady, former manager, and Latton stalwart who joined us for the commentary, and again to the Laverys and Mark Mullen for the video. Hope you enjoyed it at home. Hope you enjoyed it if you're watching it later on this evening here. But Truagh won't have learned a whole pile from that game, and Latton, it's a matter of picking up and heading into